What if a reset involved the MIC? There's a far, 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 far higher likelihood. And I've not met a single person with it, by the way, that doesn't believe that there's a reset going on. But what if? Yeah, everybody keeps pointing to a certain German guy whose first name is Klaus, which I'm not going to mention his last name, as a natural order reset, realignment with, you're going to own nothing and be happy. Okay, fine. And the whole climate agenda. And everybody, really, absolutely everybody, has speculated that that's the case. And is this video speculation? Partly so it is. But let's be demonstrable here. Use facts, logic, and wisdom to analyze this closely. And this is not a video about a reset or the reset, however you want to think about it. But the one thing everybody keeps talking about, and it's partially accurate, yet utterly and entirely clueless, is that everybody keeps talking about these giant, quote-unquote, evil entities. And I will not deny what other people have said about certain entities like Amazon, Walmart, Microsoft, J&J, the entire medical/pharma cabal. I will not disagree on the nefarious goings of these enormous mega-billion-dollar entities. But here's something that you need to consider, and I've not heard a single bleeping person ever mention this in live stream or anywhere else that I know of, and that is beware the MIC. If you took all of these entities, these enormous billion-dollar entities that I just mentioned, and you lumped them all into one giant ball of something horrible and wicked, it would be a pea. When a little pea, little green pea, a little pea relative to the largest boulder you've ever seen compared to the MIC, i.e. the military-industrial complex. You know what erases massive debt and the printing of money? Hot wars. I got asked today in a live stream by a couple of people, so what's a hot war? It's like, well, you know what a Cold War is, right? Well, a hot war is this. Pew, 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 pew. Boom! I can't believe somebody wouldn't know what a hot war is. I guess some people don't know what a hot... Maybe English was not their first language. Well, that's okay. Why has nobody mentioned the MIC? Literally, money-wise, clout-wise, insofar as the number of powerful entities that they have on the end of a string like a puppet, and this is not my feeling, opinion, or belief, or conjecture, is enormous. The MIC, short for military-industrial complex, weapons, every form of military equipment imaginable, not only for production for the United States, but also too for sale overseas, is a gazillion times bigger than every single large mega-billion-dollar industry that you could think of that everybody keeps talking about over and over and over and over again. All of those huge entities are collectively not even a scratch compared to the MIC. Why doesn't anybody ever make mention of that? No beast is bigger, more hungry, and more dangerous than the MIC. Yeah. These people have their hands into every powerful entity. This is not like conspiracy stuff. I'm never ever interested in tinfoil hat conspiracy stuff. I'm talking about cold, hard fact. These people have more influence, more power than all of these other entities combined that everybody keeps talking about. I've never heard anybody, it might have happened once in the past 5 years, but I can't remember that one time happening. Everybody keeps mentioning these companies, but they never mention the MIC. If you want a basis for the MIC, you want a basis for the fact that the United States has been borrowing money like a nut job and printing money like a madman. All indicators are, just like this happened in World War II and has happened in other times in the past, that hot wars eliminate debt and excessive money printing. It does. It literally does. Look it up. Don't believe me? Look up your history. Look what happened after World War II. Look what happened after World War I. Actually, World War II is just the reset of World War, because between World War I and World War II was just a lull period. There's really World War I and World War II are one entity, as many historians have argued. What got us out of all of the debt and the money printing and the woes and the ho-hums of the crash of 1930? Of course, we didn't start the United States. Of course, people argue that the United States was partially responsible for World War II. You could argue that all day long. But what got us out of it was a hot war. What feeds the hot war? Well, the MIC feeds the hot war. People keep thinking that it's just, there's no incentive there. Everybody keeps talking about the reset, and I don't deny the reset. Nobody I know, absolutely, literally nobody I know denies the reset. They say, well, it's being spawned by the WEF and this Klaus guy. You will own nothing and be happy. And it is the idea that, it was just, we're going to get down to like using nothing, and it's going to be a whole kumbaya environmental reset. That's the whole thing I've ever heard. When you set up massive instability globally, which is exactly what's going on, you take the entity with more influence and more power and more absolute total hegemonical control over everybody in Washington. You've got the MIC. There is literally, and this is not my opinion, it is a cold, hard, written in stone fact. There is no beast bigger, more hungry, and more dangerous than the MIC. And there's not a single person out there that I know about that's talking about that fact. There's like a gazillion videos on the Tube and BitPoop and Odyssey and every other website talking about old Klaus and the WEF and climate reset. That's all they talk about. You set up global instability, you're causing the MIC to do this, and I need to start drooling from some fangs, which I don't have. Just rubbing your hand thinking the trillions of profits. What can be fed and what can be produced. Have you ever thought about why the United States government has been printing money like the world is ending tomorrow and it is in deeper debt than it's ever been? Have you ever thought about that? I'm not saying I have the answers on these things. I'm not putting that forward at all. Nor am I a tinfoil hat, wackadoodle. That's a great word, wackadoodle. Which is not really a word, I know. But everybody keeps putting the blame on the reset over here. And I'm telling you, there's something that's 1,000 times more powerful and a million times more dangerous and a million times more likely to be the cause of the reset, and that's the MIC. And not a single person other than myself is talking about that fact. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it. Military-industrial complex. Everything that it feeds, it's a monster. Every other big company that you guys keep talking about is nothing other than some fly poop on the wall compared to the MIC. Every one of them. Amazon, Microsoft, every single one of them. And that is a cold, hard, demonstrable, undeniable fact. It's the biggest fact on this planet, actually. Everybody loves to talk about these big companies. And they're not wrong about them. But they're absolutely nothing compared to the MIC. And if you don't understand that, you really don't understand anything. Lux Everetas. Goodbye.